As Mr. Chairperson introduced, I am from Warabe University. My name is Ondusan Dejane, Warabe University College of Agriculture. So, my title is Open-Ended Distance Education for Agricultural Development in Ethiopia. So, let us see something about the challenges in agriculture in Ethiopia. So, despite our great economic achievements, still we cannot secure our food for our populations. So 40 up to 50% of Ethiopia's population is food insecure, beginning from mild food insecurity up to severe food insecurity. So mostly this food insecurity resides in rural populations, the rural area, which means those who produce food for them, those who produce food are not food secure. So more than 40% of Ethiopian family farmers are food deficient. As you can see from this pie chart, I randomly selected a town in Ethiopia, which is for this case, the Debre Birhan town. So here, around 67% of this population is food secure. However, the rest, around 30-something% is not food secure. So what is the reason for this food insecurity? One is shortage of technological advancements. So application of technological advancement is highly related with literacy rate. So when there is high number of literate people, there will be high application of advanced technology which results in food security. So how education helps in increasing agricultural productivity? According to Nelson and Phillips, education in general enhances one's ability to receive, decode, and understand information. Education in general. In addition, education, even primary schooling, enhances the ability of students to perceive new classes of problems, clarify such problems, and to learn ways of solving them. So this Welch related the effect of education to agricultural production and identified two phenomena, which are the worker effect and the allocative effect. So the worker effect describes that well-educated workers simply able to use a given amount of resource more efficiently. So if we have educated farmers, they will use their resources more efficiently. So this will increase their productivity. With regard to the relevance of these two effects for agriculture, there is nowadays consensus that farmers schooling is productive value mainly as a consequence of allocative effect. The major point of my review is this one. So this summarizes my overall idea. ODL can increase the accessibility of education in rural areas. Then education as a result increases agricultural product. So which means ODL can increase agricultural productivity.
I would like to say thank you all to attend this valuable seminar. The title of this research is Assessment of Students' Opinion on the Modules Used in Undergraduate Study of St. Mary's University. So to give you a brief context on the vitality of this course materials, the mainstay of instruction, as you well know through this modularized distance education system, is the printed course material. The printed means not the paper printed only, but the digital print is also a printed instructional material, so that the success and efficiency of a distance education is highly dependent on the quality of a module. So in today's world, we know that there is a huge competition among private universities. So one of the competition criteria is quality. So to maintain a competitive advantage, ensuring the quality of modules is one of the critical aspects. So the objective is derived from this general objective, and the specific objectives are listed here. So the rationale of the research is generally there are quite different research on this topic, but generally there are 4 core activities in module preparation. So the first one is accepting, selecting, and appointing a subject matter expert. And the second is preparing the instructional and graphic design. The third is actually managing the module writing, publishing, and at the end of the day, issuing the module. And the fourth step is analysis of a customer feedback, so that we can build upon that, we can improve the module. We know that St. Mary's University has almost 2 decades in module preparation for CODEL students, and also IGNOU has also experience on this. There are seasoned staffs here trained by IGNOU. So we are well covered on that aspect, but assessing the feedback of the end users, especially students, needs due attention, and that's the rationale for the research. So the methodology I used is the research design is a descriptive survey type of research design, and the choice of the research design obviously emanates from the objective. The objective is an assessment, so descriptive research design fits well to this objective. And the target population is the active students of CODEL students who have an experience of more than 7 terms with us. And this threshold is set because students with this much terms of experience can give us a better assessment of the modules. So I collected data on 4 attributes of the module. Once again, this is based on the mentioned scholars, and I take a look at the content of the module as one attribute, the instruction of the module as the second attribute, the technicality of the module as the third attribute, and finally, the ethical and moral consideration as the fourth attributes. And the students are asked to place their opinion on the content, on the instruction, on the technicality, and ethical and moral considerations, and the statistical procedures of checking the validity, the reliability, and the normality of the data is duly conducted. So let's go to the results. So when we see the content, the opinion of the students on the content of the module, the content is highly related with the objective, whether the content is capable of delivering the objective of the course. So in this attribute, generally, the grand mean, one of the analysis, as I told you, is taking a look at the grand mean. So the grand mean tells us the students have a positive opinion on the content of the module. If you take a look at the mode and the median and the frequency of the response from the respondents, once again, it can be classified or qualified as good, since the median is around 3.7, and the mode, the frequently occurred value within the rating of the students, is 4. So we can say that the students' perception on the content of the module is good. And when we take a look at the frequency, it supports this. Almost 62% of the respondents' response on the content of the module is qualified as good. So what does it mean generally? To summarize the results, the interpretation is based on this range of interpreting Likert scale mean. 1 up to this is negative, 2.5 up to 3.5 is neutral, and so on. So generally speaking, in all the criteria except that of the instruction, the instruction falls short of meeting at least the qualification of good. The opinion of the respondents is qualified as good. That means the content, the technical aspect, the ethical and moral consideration, at least on the view of the students, as qualified as good. Although, if you take a look at the margin or the qualification we use to interpret the result, although all the results, the mean value of the content, the technicality, and the ethical consideration are very, very, very close to the lower margin of the category. So it's somehow alarming. So a conclusive remark is, we know that St. Mary's University is striving for excellence. Our aspiration is to meet an excellence in all aspects of our operation. So taking a comfort in achieving good quality is not up to our standard. So we have to take a look at this issue from the student side very seriously, and the issues should be addressed. And recommendations are also forwarded to address the instructional attributes, the technical attributes, but I want to highlight on this recommendation. Finally, this research understood the need for a special and closer evaluation of the modules. Finally, I want to point out an indication or an area for future studies. Obviously, this research aims at providing a general overview of the student's opinion on the module, so it's more of a broader assessment. So a researcher can pick up on this by picking one of the attributes, especially the content, the instruction, or whatever. And a more comprehensive study also can be conducted by taking into account the opinion of students, scholars. There are seasoned scholars at St. Mary on this matter. So by taking their opinion into account, further research can be conducted. So I thank you very much.
I think the first one seems to some extent very general. Education ከአግሪካልቸራል ፕሮዳክቲቪቲ ጋር አሶሺየት በመታረግበት ጊዜ በጣም ጀነራል እንዳይሆን በጣም ፈራውኝ። ሁሉም ትምህርቶች አይደለም ለአግሪካልቸራል ፕሮዳክቲቪቲ ሰክሰስፉል ነው። ምናልባት ዲስታንስ ኤጁኬሽን በአግሪካልቸራል ኤሪያ ላይ የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶች ብለ ዲፋይን ማድረግ ይሻላል ወይ የሚለው ነገር እንደ ሀሳብ ፋርዘር ኢንቨስቲጌት ቢደረግ። አንዳንዶቹ ለምሳሌ ኤጁኬሽን ላይ የሚሰጡ የኤጁኬሽን ትምህርቶች ትምህርት ነው የሚማረው ኤጁኬሽን ሎው ቢማር የሎው ምንድነው agricultural like contribution, what is the contributions of studying law in a distance education modality for agricultural productivity, and what is marketing management, what others basically management to ምንድነው እዛ ጋር ምለው ነገር በጣም highly generic እንዳይሆን to some extent በጣም specific የሆኑ የagricultural studies አካባቢ ላይ የሚሰጡ ነገሮች ናቸው ወይ ብዬ ጥያቄ ነው ተነሳና እስኪ በደንብ አርገ እዛ አካባቢ ቢታይ generic ሲሆን ሊረብሽ ይችላልና ሁሉም ላይ ሆኑ ይችላሉ የሚል ነገር ናለ።
My question will be, how representative is your sample, right, to make such generalizations? That's it. Thank you.
Dr. Miskanao and Dr. Mosisa jointly addressed the issue of representativeness of the sample. Once again, this is a limitation. I just quantified and qualified my target population. The number comes from me. But I don't want to lie about it. And it's a limitation. I know 100 sample size will not be representative, but we should not overlook the homogeneity within the population also. So at the end of the day, a sample size determination is to get a representative sample. So if we fairly assume that the population gives us a homogeneous response on certain aspects, there is no need to collect a huge number of data. So I will acknowledge the limitation, but if we assume there is homogeneity, we can come up with a meaningful conclusion from 100 samples of the study. In-depth investigation, of course, that's also my recommendation. I personally talked about it with Dr. Miskana also. This is just a blanket overview, a general overview on the matter. So an in-depth investigation, course-specific investigation, attribute-specific investigation should be conducted. And I'm not bold enough to say those 4 dimensions are quite sufficient, but I have a literature support to choose those 4 parameters. If we take a look at it, we can come up with a myriad of attributes.
We have come to the end of our session. The last session will be a closing remark from Dr. Misganaw Solomon. He is the Vice President of Research and International Relations, SMU.
Okay, dear paper presenters, invited guests, SMU community, and seminar participants in general. I would like to thank you all for coming to this 11th Open and Distance Learning Seminar, which is the 4th research event at St. Mary's University this academic year. It's my strong conviction that you found the seminar informative and stimulating. The topics covered in today's seminar are relevant to the theme and the College of Open and Distance Learning theme presented today. As the theme has it, this year's seminar envisions the future of open and distance learning, which is technology. The papers presented today align very well with this theme and try to look into the roles of e-learning in access to education, equity, and quality of open and distance learning. Equally, technology is not without limitations. So the papers presented today showed the shortcomings of e-learnings vividly and had enlightened us with future aspects that we should look into. The lively discussions and debates that took place today will have a positive effect or impact on the practice of CODEL in particular and Ethiopia's higher education in general. Today's seminar was a success because of many players. Therefore, I would like to thank the speakers for their excellent presentations and you participants for your invaluable insights and enriching comments. Many thanks are also due to the organizers of this conference because they have worked relentlessly to make this happen. With that, I declare the conference closed. Thank you.